part of how we champion leadership is not just about challenging people's bad leadership. It's about modeling and fighting for sometimes the best version of us.
Right.
To say, hey, it's going to take vulnerability to get there. Hey everybody, welcome to the Leader Lab. This is Leadership Shorts. Quick thoughts to help you level up your leadership. My name is Chad Wright. I'm the founder of Forward Partners, and I'm joined as always by my partner in podcasting, Emily Grace Deal. Emily Grace Deal, what are we talking about today?
We are continuing to dive into our definition of what a thriving team is.
Yes. So let's hear the definition to recap.
Yes. So the definition is everyone on our team is unified in purpose, champions healthy leadership, and works for growth and impact.
Yes.
So today, we're talking about champion healthy leadership.
Yes. Last time we kind of talked through the idea of being unified in purpose and having that unity and that drive. So let's talk about championing healthy leadership, because this one is a little bit different. We had an episode of a while back where we talked about the idea that leadership health is the key to success, because unhealthy leaders cannot lead thriving teams. Leadership health doesn't happen by accident.
Yeah.
And even those of us who are trying to be healthy, we're on a growth path, we're doing the things, we're investing in ourselves. There's times things hit us. There's times when we are not at our healthiest, seasons where we're just not able to do it.
Yeah, definitely.
I've experienced those seasons, you have. We've all kind of had that time where it just feels like we can't get ahead. Having people around us that can fight for leadership, can champion it, can sit and go, it's one thing to, if you've got the boss who's really in a rough spot, to be like, hey, you need to knock that off. Stop doing it. That's one conversation. But a better way to approach that is, hey, you have told us you didn't want us experiencing these things. We're experiencing them from you right now. How can we help?
Yeah.
And understanding that is a leadership
conversation. So way more open approach to be able to have that discussion than just being like, hey, buddy.
Anything that starts with "Hey, buddy," probably not going to end up being the conversation you want. But you're right. There's this openness to say, I desperately want to be a healthy leader. I know there are times when I'm not going to be.
Yeah.
And if that happens for a season, I'm not talking one bad day, right? We have bad days. I mean, there's a season, there's a few days, a few weeks, a few months, whatever it is, where people are just experiencing a negative version of me that is doing harm. I need to know about that.
Well, I think it's because it's hard to do anything alone. But if you're all looking to be healthier leaders, and you can all do that together, then you can hold yourself accountable and hold other people accountable and have something to, I'm going to try and do this because I know what the better outcome is if I do.
Yes. You're right. If we're doing it together, it is so much easier. And so the goal is, like, as we're climbing this mountain together, we're not all going to always be able to run as fast as we can. And so there's going to be times when some of us are struggling a little bit. Can the others come around, put their arms around us and say, hey, let's go. I got you. And this requires an openness of conversation. Like, we have to be able, we talked a while back about the idea that we have to be able to put whatever we're facing on the table, whether it's a fear or a challenge, and openly be able to discuss it.
Right.
But part of having people champion healthy leadership is giving them the language to do it, giving them permission to do it. Saying as a leader, hey, you have my permission to come up and challenge me. And my hope is, again, we're doing it with emotional health, so we're doing it with empathy, we're doing it with grace.
Yeah.
But we are challenging each other, and we're having these conversations to support one another and to really help when one of us gets off track.
I was thinking too about the idea of, like, if I need a rest day and I'm like, I just can't.
Yeah.
And being able to come to you and know that you're not going to think I'm lazy or not trying because I'm doing that, right? And know that I can be like, today it's not happening. Like, these things are happening. This is, I know what I have to get done. Here's how we can still get those things done.
Yeah.
But this is what's also happening.
Well, what's interesting is we talk all the time about modeling leadership, right? That's okay to do. And the reason is because I have done that. Because I've come to you, I've come to the team and said, I don't have it right now and I need help. That openness and that vulnerability, part of how we champion leadership is not just about challenging people's bad leadership. It's about modeling and fighting for sometimes the best version of us.
Right.
To say, hey, it's going to take vulnerability to get there. Because that really is, when we talk about championing healthy leadership, it's got to be some vulnerability in there. There's got to be relationship and these deeper things that do not come from just sitting and checking tasks all day.
Yeah. Being able to have that discussion and being able to communicate what's going on.
Yes. And ultimately give them the language to do it. To say, how do you challenge me? You and I have talked before about what does direct feedback look like? For me, direct feedback looks direct. Like it's I don't need the sugarcoating. I don't need the emotional
Yeah,
side.
yeah.
Just hit me with it.
Hit me with the facts.
Yes, hit me with the facts, because once we have facts, we can really dig into something.
Mm-hmm.
You want those same facts. You want them clear, but you want them wrapped in.
I do want a little bit of a sandwich in there.
You want them wrapped in, I love you. I care about you. You are okay. I don't hate you, right?
Yeah.
And it's funny when you think about that. Like, we laugh about that all the time, but it makes a difference.
It does. It really does. And knowing about people, like how they can hear things and accept things and interpret things, and being able to know how to communicate with other people is super important.
Well, and part of the giving people the language to do it is helping every person understand individually, how do you challenge that person? When we do these communication workshops, that's one of the questions we have people write out is, how can people have a tough conversation with you?
Yeah.
How can they challenge you when you are off track?
Yeah.
Because you want to hear. Because the reality is, if I just hit you with blind facts and I don't wrap it in, hey, we're okay. If I don't start there, your brain is sitting there doing what? It's going, he hates me.
I guess I have to find a new job.
Exactly. And it's a minor thing we're talking about, but your brain is going, yeah, I can never show up here again. And it's the end of the world. Yeah. But if I can quiet that down just a little, now I can challenge you and go, okay, let's talk about something. And so it's understanding the people and really giving us the ability to champion that leadership, and really understand that's required, that we're not going to get there if we can't. Leaders, let's talk about next steps. So that second piece of this, that your team champions healthy leadership. You'll have a definition for it, and you're willing to fight for it. And when we say fight, I don't mean you're willing to beat your people into being healthy leaders. I mean, we are willing to have hard conversations. We're willing to care enough to show up as healthy and challenge those who aren't, in a way that says, not be better, but how can I help you? That ability to do that is vital, but our people need the language to do it. They need to understand, do your people know how to challenge you? If they don't, and don't just assume they do, ask them, hey, do you know how to come have a tough conversation with me? See what they say and see if it lines up with how you would define it. Help them understand how to really challenge you, and then give them permission to do that. Help them understand that us being healthy leaders, nothing else matters more than that. That is the key to success. And give them the ability to do that, and then start to model it for them. It's going to help your team really come together and start to thrive when there's that definition and that quest for healthy leadership and thriving teams. All right, if people want to send us questions around this idea of thriving teams and how to get there, where do they send that?
lab@forwardpartners.net.
lab@forwardpartners.net. If they want to find us on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn, where are they going to find us?
@forwardpartner.
@forwardpartner. If you go there, you're going to find content all over the place. Emily is producing a crazy amount of content to put out there to help to just put ideas in your hands about healthy leadership and how we get there and the difference it can make. Thank you for this conversation, Emily.
Thank you.
John with Porchlight Productions, thank you for producing and keeping this thing on track when we get a little goofy after lunch. And more importantly, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening, liking, subscribing, sharing. It means the world to us. We will see you next time right here in the Leader Lab for Leadership Shorts.